Shalom. Call Halaim La Lahayanawa, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waharachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to hopefully elect. This brother I now back with another lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And more prophecy being dropped, man. This whole Venezuela thing, keeping an eye on it, is kind of setting up a lot of other things. The Lord is moving already. This is we just 4 days, 5 days in, 4 days into the year already. And the Lord is making some, Yahweh Shemar Shai is making some big strides to make some things happen and speed up the time a little bit, man. These nations, not, they're not, playing around anymore, and in a move that proves what these Edomites here in Babylon the Great, referring to America. You won't find the word America in the scriptures. You gotta do your due diligence to search in the scriptures the descriptions, that the prophets have used to describe America, which in the scriptures it's referred to as Babylon the Great, the daughter of the Chaldeans, Nineveh, Assyria, Egypt, the red dragon, the great serpent, the deceiver, the land of the north, so to speak. Different names, different descriptions, but through the spirit, you can, ascertain that it's speaking about America. It's like a movie being, watched, and you gotta figure out who the bad guy is. It's kind of like that, but Yahweh Shem Shai has given the eye of the detective, like Matlock, or what's his face, Kojak, to take clues from what's happening in real life and match them up with what the scriptures speak about, and rightly divide the word of truth by measuring the time diligently within itself, like the scriptures say, man. And then you will come up with the conclusion that it's talking about America, because America plays the part, that the scriptures speak about, as the adversary of the Most High. America does everything opposite to what the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai requires for a man to do, in righteousness, and follow that which is the law of liberty, the guidelines for living peacefully. This man is the so-called white man is just violated every last one of them. And this is nothing new to him. He's been doing that for a long, long time. This is who he is, man. He is the wicked that the scriptures speak about, right? So we're just going to go through this article real quick and get some scriptures, Lord willing, is edifying. Okay, it says, politics. Trump's attack on Venezuela could change the world. Okay, here's how. And this was an article in Politico about 14 hours ago, which is not too long after the events in Venezuela took place. Okay, it says, a huge step towards emergence of a balance of power world. Okay, deepen other countries' belief in the volatility of U.S. foreign policy. Trump's White House bled allies even on the global hard right. Okay, it says the U.S. intervention in Venezuela is forcing a geopolitical reckoning in Washington, throughout the Western Hemisphere, and around the world. President Donald Trump's decision to launch a surprise military action and extract Nicolas Maduro ended years-long standoff with Caracas in a matter of hours. And I think Caracas is, in Venezuela. And this is nothing new. The U.S. government has had their hand in, Latin America and, South America's affairs, since they've been here. So-called white man has intervened in many regimes to remove regimes that, don't align themselves with his policies, and put in someone and assign them to power so he can get what he wants out of that country. In this case, it's that oil he's after, and it doesn't matter who speaks up against it. He don't have no remorse. He's just gonna do what he wants. Hey, that's one of the things that clues that that he is who the scriptures speak about when it says Babylon the Great is speaking about America. And Jeremiah 50 goes in on him, right? I could really start, but for the time's sake, I'm going to start at Jeremiah 50 and 22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction, right? Sound of battle is, men, being the host of the battle, being gathered up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? You see that? Okay, so it's speaking about the hammer of the old earth. And, the characteristics of a hammer is to knock shit down and destroy shit, and then build shit back up. You can do one end of the hammer destroys, and that same end can, build back up. You see, and that this description fits America because they just destroyed, a, a, a system that was in place in another country, and there's no one to stand up against them and, actually come against them right now. But the Lord is mustering the host of the battle to, pay real close attention to what they're doing and speak up against it right now, because China said, hey, that's not cool. North Korea said, that's not cool. Russia said, hey, that's not cool. Iran said, hey, that's not cool. Even Spain said, hey, that's not cool. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that's not cool, but that's not really what they said. They really was basically calling them out like, yo, y'all tripping. Y'all gotta, release that man and, you know what I mean, give his oil back, And before, hey, there wasn't too many countries that would buck up against America like that, man. When America dropped them bombs in that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the whole earth was, quiet before them. Like, hey, shit, did you see that shit, man? They dropped them bombs on it. But now the Lord is putting the spirit back in these nations to come up against her like that, man. And it says Babylon. How is Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations? And that's what the scriptures basically is saying that's going to happen to Babylon the Great. She shall be a desolation, because these nations are going to drop their missiles, and, launch their missiles and burn her with fire, it says, right? Revelation 17:6, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these same horns, on that great dragon that America is riding, because America is in charge of NATO, right? And the EU is in line with her. It says that these nations are going to turn on her, and make her desolate by launching their missiles on her and burning her with fire. What do you do with a whore? You burn her with fire. A witch, a whore, you burn them with fire, man. You got to put out the evil from among you. And that's what the Lord, is doing right now. Right? Isaiah 13:4 says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. And that's Yahweh Mount Shai, mustering these nations up to come up against Babylon the Great, against America. They see right through, how are the things of Esau searched out? And right now, a lot of things of Esau is being searched out, even by their own brothers, which, Russia, primarily is an Edomite nation, really. So that the Lord is going to use Russia primarily to, come up against America, which Russia and China and Iran, and South Korea, all of them are in league. So the Lord is mustering the host of the battle. That word host goes into, the amount. Well, I can just get it. Going into before I butcher it. I know what it means, but I'm gonna just get it. That which goes forth, army, warfare, host, army, host. Okay, so it goes into warfare, the army, man. These mighty men. The Lord is gathering them together to come up against Babylon. And they're going to burn her with fire. Okay? Why? Because, all her transgressions have mounted to the heavens. See how it's worded. I can just go to it. Okay. Malachi 3:1-3. It says, "And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom," okay, which Esau, Edom, goes back, his forefathers, the so-called white man, that's their forefathers, man. The evil twin of Jacob, which Jacob are the Israelites. Today they would be so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. It says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places," which they're trying to do that right now. They're trying to build. "Thus saith the Lord of hosts," right? The Lord of the armies, Lord of armies. Okay, that's another title for Yahweh B'Shem Shai. "They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness." See that? The border of wickedness, right? "And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai have indignation forever," right? So the Lord is not going to let his anger be quenched against these people for all they have done. Okay? Because they've touched the apple of the Lord's eye, which are you Israelites, man. But I just want to touch on this subject real quick. All willing, this was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.